Welcome to a bonus episode of the TF Motorsports podcast. I usually do these things on Saturday, but however, I saw some things pop up. Some people wanted me to talk about these, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do them right here, right now. On this bonus episode, we're going to talk about two different things. One being a thing that Monster Jam recently revealed, and also, we're also going to be talking about news on Tom Meents, on what could possibly have been his last ride a couple weeks ago. So, Saturday we're just going to do the usual stuff where we recap the events from last weekend and going into this weekend a little bit of a preview. So, we're just going to leave this just for these two different topics alone. Before we get started, just want to point out that we're gonna try to do some interviews on this show. Hopefully soon I can start reaching out to some people. Maybe I can try to get something working. One episode I really hope to do one day. Hopefully I can try to maybe talk to Scott Jordan maybe, and possibly get an episode with him. That's a big one I want to do. So hopefully I can reach out to him at some point. And then also here on the channel on TF Motorsports Hour is going to be larger than ever for 2024, as last year only 3 monster truck events we have done. This year the numbers are going higher and higher as we're going to be traveling all throughout the summertime, because my racing schedule might not be, crowded with races. It looks like it's going to be very limited. So we're going to make up for that and do a bunch of different monster truck coverage this year. So, let's get into it. So first of all, Tom Meents. He might be done for Monster Jam early. As we know, Indianapolis, Tom Meents sustained an injury as he had a supposed neck injury, and he got released from the hospital today. And Monster Jam on the 13th of February, just yesterday, posted that Colton Eichelberger will replace Tom Meents for the remainder of the 2024 season, pretty much signaling the end of Tom Meents' farewell season early. As Monster Jam puts out, Tom Meents will hand over the driving responsibilities of Max D on Stadium Championship Series East to his son, Colton Eichelberger, for the remainder of the season. Now again, I don't know if Max D is going to be continuing after that point, because they are doing all the different bodies still. I don't know if this is like the farewell of the truck as well, but hopefully not. But Colin Eichelberger, he did very well in Tampa, got a nice Max D save with the backflip attempt on show 1, so we're glad we have a moment with Colton. Father like son, so son like father. So it's really, really good that Colton is back and filling in for his dad. And yeah, just want to say, Tom, thank you for all the memories, and yeah, thank you for all the contributions and also on all the success you've done here in Monster Jam. So just really pretty groundbreaking news. This kind of ends an era of Monster Jam where Dennis Anderson and Tom Meents were the dominating drivers, or the main focus really. Dennis also went out with an injury back in 2017 in Tampa. He went out, and yeah, Tom Meents pretty much having almost an identical crash, except it wasn't from a backflip, it was the rebound from the track design. Yeah, so now we're going to have a Monster Jam without Dennis or Tom, so it's going to be very interesting, but we'll see what happens from now on out as we continue and get closer to the Monster Jam World Finals coming up in May at SoFi Stadium. Again, that's coming up quick. It's already the 14th of February. And then when we get to that, we'll get our predictions probably around like May, like the week of. Now, we got the other hot topic, and this one I got requests from both DiggerFan15 and Temporary High Monster Trucks on Instagram. Monster Jam released a brand new video trailer called Monster Jam Crash Course. What this series is pretty much another kids-like thing where it pretty much goes you and puts you behind the scenes of Monster Jam, but only for kids with weird sound effects and visuals and pencils and paper. Yeah, I don't get why they're really going over the top with that. Cause when I was growing up, um, several years ago, in like 2006, I think, we had Inside Monster Jam. This was the second version of Inside Monster Jam because there's three, one being from the 90s, one from the 2000s, and then the podcast, which is hosted by Scott Jordan, again, where he does a very great job at. Um, with Inside Monster Jam 2, which that was in the 2000s, that was a behind the scenes Monster Jam series on Speed, except their approach was full motorsport, serious competition, really getting the drivers, getting their interviews unfiltered, like really, really showcasing it. Like, I think it's on a archive website. I think I found it on after I saw it many years ago and lost it. I rewatched that after seeing the trailer what Monster Jam just posted with their new series. It's a complete 180 compared to what we have now, where now Monster Jam is just going completely into kids rather than what it's supposed to be. And it really kind of doesn't make sense in a way, because the drivers, as we've seen, they're putting their bodies on the line, especially with Jamie Sullivan getting injured, but thankfully she's coming back this weekend. And now Tom Meents being taken out entirely out of competition and ending his career early. I seriously don't understand why they're putting out so much kid stuff and not just focusing on their own brand. Right now, the only stuff they really got is the shows themselves, the TV broadcast, and Inside Monster Jam. But lately, most of the new stuff has been kids exclusive, and that kind of like changes the image of Monster Jam. And to answer Digger Fan 15 and Temporary High MT's question, honestly, if they go in this direction, this kind of makes me a little worried. This really kind of makes me a little worried that they're going to go to this direction and just really put it down the drain. I really hope that this is just a side thing and it's not really going to be pushed so hard. Because already it's at 11K views and the regular Monster Jam posts are much lower. So yeah, I really wish and really hope that this is just a one-off, kind of like their weird animated thing that they did before, where they're just having it there and it's going to be forgotten about, and we can just continue on with regular Monster Jam coverage and Inside Monster Jam. So that's what I think of that. I really, really hope and pray that they don't push those types of content down our throats and completely change it, because it seems like they really want to rip off Hot Wheels in a way as well. Like hang on a minute, because this kind of reminds me. It reminds me of something of what Hot Wheels did with their thing. When they were just starting off, and it was on like MAV TV before Monster Jam came along on MAV TV. It was, yeah, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live crushing it. They're literally doing this kind of somewhat the same as them, except with interesting sound effects. So yeah, that's pretty interesting that they're doing literally what they did before. But yeah, hopefully this is just a one-off. Hopefully they don't do this again and again and again, and then eventually it just overtakes everything. Praying that it's just a one-off. So that's my thoughts on that. So those are the things I just wanted to cover real quick just to get them out of the way. Since I do have some free time and I was able to get this out. And then this Saturday, we'll do the usual episode of the podcast where we go over Monster Jams, events from Tampa, and I'm trying to remember exactly where the other events were. Kind of rusty in the brain. But there was also another series for the West Tour, and then all the other arena tours. And then we go over NASCAR's speed weeks leading up to the Daytona 500 and my picks for the Daytona 500. And we also go over Monster Energy AMA Supercross with their really good race at Glendale. And we get ready for their next week of competition. So, thank you guys for joining us here, and we'll see you guys next time for a new episode of the TF Motorsports podcast.